What's up, everybody? Welcome to Hop LA Events on Tap, episode 95, covering all of the awesome things happening in LA beer this week. And this week, decked out in our LA Dodger gear, supporting the boys in blue. Woo! And we're doing so with a couple special beers from one of our favorite breweries, Lodge. Gary, let's just get right into it. What are we drinking this week?
Okay, we got two IPAs. We have a West Coast single IPA, Belli Bomb, that was released I think a couple weeks ago, and then Hush Money, their hazy double IPA. I believe this is formerly the beer known as Clayton Kerhop. Pretty sure, for anyone that remembers that beer. 8% on this. Let's dive right into it.
Actually been kind of a while since I've had an Lodge beer, so I'm super stoked.
The foam, it's gonna foam over!
Two very different looking beers. Both look very good.
Yeah, well, let's give them a whirl.
Crowbars up.
Got that classic West Coast IPA nose on it. Piney, citrus, sharp.
Hush Money is fantastic. This thing is got a nice little bitterness to it, but at 8%, kind of has a slight bit of booze. It's juicy. Amarillo and Citra in this one, so bursting with a lot of tropical flavors.
It looks really nice. I like the color on that.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, for Belli Bomb, this is what I would call an approachable West Coast IPA. This isn't overloading your palate in any one direction. Typically West Coast IPAs these days are going high on the tropical citrus and or high on the bitterness, and that's not this beer. So maybe when it was fresh and new and you first cracked it open, it had a lot more zest when it came out of the can. This is relatively subdued, which I actually like. Sometimes you don't need to start out your day drinking with a beer that's so in your face. So I really like the approachability of this IPA, and at 6.7%, you can't go wrong.
Always got to do the switcheroo.
Cantaloupe, a little bit of grapefruit.
Yeah, this thing smells like a throwback.
Body's light on this beer, not your typical kind of thick and creamy hazy.
Not at all. Yeah, it's super thin, which I appreciate. I don't really gravitate towards like this super thick, chewy ones.
Yeah, no, this is good. This reminds me of like a summer fruit salad, like cantaloupe, orange, grapefruit, a little bit of watermelon. So yeah, I really like that a lot. Yeah. Nice for the summer. So Lodge putting out some really good beers and Dodgers themed beers, and you can't go wrong with that. You know, cracking a couple of these before you hit a Dodger game. It's just a reminder, keep your eye open for anything that Lodge puts out.
Yes.
It's usually really fucking good.
Very fucking good. All right, moving into the beer release radar for this week. As always, quite a few delicious beers getting released, but there's one in particular that I'm really excited about because it hasn't been released in a long time, and it's never been released in cans.
White Dog IPA, El Segundo's second ever IPA that they put out. They're bringing it back, and they're putting it in cans, 6.7%. And this isn't your standard El Segundo West Coast IPA. The malt bill is 50% wheat, so it looks like a hazy IPA. It's you know, the OG LA hazy,
yeah,
but it tastes like a West Coast IPA. Double dry hopped with Nelson Sauvin hops, and it sounds really good. I remember drinking this beer back in the early days of El Segundo, or a few years that have passed. I'm excited to try this one again.
Absolutely. I remember White Dog being one of my favorites.
Yeah. This can drops August 2nd, this Friday, with a release party at the brewery, and I imagine it's going into distro too, so look out for it at your local beer store and pick up some White Dog and drink it.
And of course, get the entire beer release radar delivered to your email inbox once a week. Head over to hopla.com/subscribe and jump on that email list ASAP. Let's head into the events for this week. We're gonna kick it off this Friday, August 2nd at 7 p.m. It's Brew at the Zoo 2019 at the LA Zoo. This event is really cool because it's a beer fest inside the zoo. And you get to walk around with your beers, check out the different animals and different exhibits that are on display. Special beer brewed with Simsies once again this year. Overall, just a really cool event. So grab your tickets, $65 for GA, $135 for VIP, on sale right now. Go drink beer inside the zoo. Just do it.
Then on Saturday, August 3rd, starting at 11 a.m., going all day long, Negrin Brewing in Moore Park is celebrating their 8th anniversary. And if you know Negrin, they go all out for their parties. German style beer. They'll have food trucks, they'll have music, bunch of good stuff. They're releasing an Imperial Lager for their 8th anniversary beer. Sounds really good. I actually got a little preview taste of it and it is delicious. But yeah, we love Negrin. Great beers flowing out of there. So head out to Moore Park, celebrate 8 years with those guys.
Cheers, Negrin. All right, so that does it for this week's events. Let's head into the preview section. Of course, one event that we want to highlight for this week, Sunday, August 18th, 818, 4-year anniversary for 818 Brewing. For this year, it is a ticketed event. $25 is going to get you in with a drink ticket, a raffle ticket, $5 pours for the session that you choose to be at, because there are 2 separate ones. Overall, sounds like a really good time at 818. Beer, music, food, the works. Can't go wrong in the Valley. Go check them out on 818. So that does it for this episode of Events on Tap. The Dodgers are on inside right now. It's bottom of the 9th. Jansen's on the mound, so time to kill these and crack another belly bomb and
Let's go.
watch the game. Drink Indy.
Drink local.